Welcome to All Souls. I am Reverend Dr. Elaine Beth Peresluha, and I am your interim minister, and I'm joined on the chancel by Reverend Jessica Hess, who is our Director of Lifespan Faith Formation. And this is a multi-generational service, which we try to do a few times each year to give you the experience of worshiping together in all stages and all ages so that we can give you wonderful experience.
Thank you. Good morning. You may be wondering about the music today. I've been asked to tell you this week our choir is on tour in Spain, currently in Madrid, where they are in partnership with Teatro Real, which is Spain's premier opera house. While the choir is away today, we are grateful to welcome two wonderful guest artists who will lead our music today. We have mezzo-soprano Devani Smith with a member of our All Souls choir. She was here for 6 years. She joins us with her close collaborator, pianist Danny Zellabor, and together they recently released their debut album, In This Short Life, featuring contemporary American art songs. The recording was nominated for a 2026 Grammy Award for Best Classical Solo Vocal Album, and you'll hear some songs from that album this morning. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of members and friends. Our service is for all, including little ones who may make sounds during the worship experience. Our nursery and preschool care, if you have a little one, is available up front here with Isabella. There are chalice bags as well in the vestibule for anyone of any age that would like to have things to engage their hands during service. A special welcome to those of you who are new or visiting. We invite you to fill out a card in the pew and place it in the offering plate as it passes you by. We'd love to be in touch. We hope that you'll join us for coffee and conversation after the service today down in Reedy Friendship Hall. You can get there via the stairs in the vestibule or the ramp and elevator in our adjacent building. We're so glad you're here. Newcomers or anyone interested in learning more about All Souls are invited to join Gretchen Gabrielson for All Souls in 20 minutes immediately following the service. Please come here to the chancel. We'll have chairs for you. Spend a few minutes chatting about All Souls so we can get to know you. We have some announcements to share with you this morning.
And I also want us to say welcome to all our people who are joining us on live stream. I didn't say that before, but we know you're here, and welcome. First announcement is March 28th. What's happening March 28th? No King's March, exactly. And so there's a couple of different opportunities for you to join in. Fourth Universalist is offering a singing training and opportunity to learn the songs that we'll be singing during the march. They haven't given me the exact time, but we're actually doing signs here between 11 and 1. So there'll be an opportunity if you want to come here and do a sign, then go over there and sing, or go over there and sing and come back here to do a sign. But then we're going to join, hopefully all the Unitarian Universalist churches are going to meet up in front of Carnegie Hall, but we'll be marching down with 4th U. So come here between 11 and 1 and you can get specific details and instructions. We were going to meet in the ware room, but we are now probably, because of some construction things, doing signs and things, and Karen's looking at me, in the vestibule. But we'll keep you posted on that.
Souls in Service will be hosting a pasta bowl potluck in Reedy Friendship Hall next Sunday, the 22nd, in honor of the end of the pasta drive. We encourage folks to volunteer for the day of to help support that. And you can sign up to bring a dish as well, or a beverage. All of that information to link to sign-ups are in the Friday email. All Queer Souls today is meeting off-site at 1 p.m. for their monthly luncheon.
Exciting times. All Souls is about to begin its search for a new minister, and foundational to that search is a search committee. And tomorrow you will have the opportunity, members of the church will be able to nominate members of that search committee to make sure that people that represent you well and that you trust are part of that search. Watch for a link to be sent to you on email that will show you how to nominate. And that's the first round, and there will be a second round later.
So now is an exciting time, our chalice lighting. I would like to welcome any children forward, any adults that volunteer in our program who know the words to come forward at this time. You can come up the stairs or through the center here. There's a ramp over here to this side. So while our young people are coming forward and they're adults, I want to tell you a little bit about our chalice lighting. So this is the chalice lighting that we do every week in our Pathfinders group. You can come on up here if you want. Stand with me.
We like company.
Yeah, come on up. And so these are the words we say in our Pathfinders group every week. They've been written and adapted by many religious educators, including myself. There are hand gestures that we want to make clear are not American Sign Language, but simply an embodied practice that we do to keep track of the message. Feel free to learn along. Everybody ready? The words are down here if you need it. Okay. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. And together we work for peace, justice, and equity in our world. Thank you so much.
Great job. Thank you. Jessica and I are going to call you to worship today with her stories. Using a litany of your lineage of women is one way that we honor women. And I am Elaine, Beth, daughter of Catherine, granddaughter of Anna and Jenny Isabel, and the great-granddaughter of Marie Louise.
I am Jessica Marie, daughter of Johnny Ann, granddaughter of Grace Jessie, and Carolyn Marie, great-granddaughter of Mabel and Ida.
Focusing on her story instead of history is one way that we name and affirm the women in our lineage. It's one way to make them become more visible and give them more agency and give visibility and agency for all women. So while you're here today and we're doing this service focusing on women, we want you each to think of your lineage of women that you have been raised by and that your life was formed by, and bring them into the sanctuary with us. These are the women who have changed the world with their strength, their resistance, and determination to create a better world.
Good morning, and welcome to All Souls. My name is Cheryl McCarthy. I've attended All Souls for 15 years and have been a member for 7. I grew up in a Black Baptist church in Birmingham, Alabama, where my childhood was enriched by Sunday school, Christmas and Easter pageants, youth choir, youth fellowship, vacation Bible school, by being in the midst of a church-led civil rights movement, and by the warmth of a loving congregation. I knew little about Unitarians, except that they were mostly white, that they were viewed with suspicion by Southerners, and that they were rumored to be considerably more open-minded than Baptist. As an adult living in the North, I never considered joining another church, fearing that becoming a member would require me to get involved in the vortex of church politics. Instead, I followed the music. I sang in church choirs, Methodist, Presbyterian, UCC, Baptist. Music provided the inspiration, choirs, the community. My denomination was alto. During a lull between choir jobs, I learned about All Souls from Dan Cryer, my newspaper colleague who was writing a book about Forest Church. It sounded like an interesting place, so I came to visit. Here, I found a congregation that was indeed welcoming. I discovered a magnificent choir performing beautiful music in surround sound, proving to me that this church was serious about music. On Sundays, I got to choose between attending a church service or a lecture on the significance of Homer's Iliad, or both. I heard sermons that were rich in content, reflection, and relevance that urged me not to just simply wring my hands over the depredations of our times, but to play a role in ending them. In a half dozen small group ministries, hearing other people tell their stories and sharing my own, I believe helped all of us appreciate more fully the humanity in each of us. As a server for Friday's Soup Kitchen, I found camaraderie with a hard-working band of volunteers whose work seemed to embody the Christian exhortation to humbly and cheerfully serve others. Most important, my time at All Souls has helped me to embrace the Unitarian principle of gratitude, that hopes and deeds need not be fixated on a mythical hereafter, but that this life, this world, this moment are all we have, so we'd better make the most of them. Now I invite you to stand as you are able and join me in repeating the bond of union. In the freedom of the truth and in the spirit of love, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Get ready to sit down. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. It's number 118. And if you've got some hand gestures you want to use, we're welcoming those.
I saw somebody of you getting into that. It's my favorite. I want to acknowledge that we know that today in our modern society, women continue to be marginalized, especially women of color and trans women. Today we're hearing about the power of women in the past here in America that changed the world, and we acknowledge that most of these women we're speaking of today were white, had privilege, and were educated. Many of these women were involved in politics and social justice work, but that wouldn't have been possible without the women that came before them to ensure that they had the right to vote. As we share the stories of these women today, listen for the word suffragist. Suffragists were women and some men, and this word simply means people fighting for the right to vote. This movement began in 1848 in Seneca Falls, New York. There were lots of symbols of suffragism. They wore white as a visual symbol of their purpose and a way to push back against the group that was against them, that didn't want them to be able to vote. And they wore sashes. It often said votes for women on them, with these colors as well. They had flags. The purple was a little more purple than this, but they had these flags as well, and the green was for hope, white for purity, and purple for dignity. The green changed to yellow later in the movement. Yellow is a prominent color symbolizing the fire of commitment. There was the yellow rose, and later the sunflower. The sunflower became the symbol of the movement in 1867 to symbolize hope. We'll have sunflower stickers for you out in the vestibule as you depart the sanctuary today, if you'd like to wear a sunflower sticker. Black women were crucial in the fight for the right to vote. In 1896 and the years to follow, they formed their own groups to fight for the rights of black women, in part because the suffragist movement was considered ended with the 19th Amendment to the Constitution in 1920. The women's right to vote. It was not until 1965, 45 years later, till black women had the right to vote. As Unitarian Universalists, we've always been and will always be suffragists, fighting for the right of every person to have a say. May it be so.
How many of you know why fathers walk their daughters down the aisle? Well, it is a tradition that was started when women were considered the property of their fathers. And marriage was the legal transfer of property of women from their fathers to their husbands. So fathers walked women down the aisle and handed them to their husbands to make sure that the property was legally transferred. That is something that I always tell the women that I'm in, couples that I'm marrying, to make sure they understand. And then they mostly say, okay, it's a tradition, I still want my, but sometimes then they invite their mothers or another sibling to walk with them to make sure that they're not transferring property. And that's also where the tradition of taking a man's name came from, because in that legal transfer of property, it was important that you had the name right of whose property you now belonged to. So, just saying.
Just saying. So do you remember at the annual meeting this January where we honored Laura Peterson? And she challenged us. She said, why aren't there women's names on these walls here? One of those women she probably thinks is a good idea is William Ellery Channing's sister.
Yes.
Mrs. William Washington Russell.
See, she took the man's name.
Born Lucy Channing.
She was born Lucy Channing.
Yeah. So even more than her brother, Lucy was really influential in the forming of this congregation in 1819. William was traveling to Baltimore to deliver the sermon that would start the Unitarian movement, and Lucy invited him to her drawing room to practice with just a few of her friends, which he did. That sermon was so inspiring in Baltimore, It made him so famous, by the time he got back up this way, they had to rent a hall in a medical school for all the people that wanted to come and hear him preach.
And so we thought Lucy should be up there as well as William. Now, how did you find out all of this information about these women for today?
Yeah, I searched many places, including the New York Times, Wikipedia, and of course UUA.org, where I found an article written in February of 2016 by Laura Walliser, who is a Unitarian Universalist, in which she says, quote, "March is Women's History Month, a time to reflect on the incredible and often overlooked contributions women have made throughout history. Many Unitarian and Universalist women have not only shaped and led the UU faith, but they've also left an indelible impact on the history in general." Let's tell everyone about some of these remarkable women.
So, one of those women was Abigail Adams. Mostly we know of her because she was married to somebody famous, John Adams, and so much of her was so much more than a first lady. Abigail Adams actually was really part of shaping John as well. She was a Unitarian, and she was a prolific writer. A historian, Joseph Ellis, found 1,200 letters that they had written between them, John and Abigail. And Mr. Ellis noted that hers were far more interesting than his, and had an unexpected candor and intimacy in them. Abigail was self-educated and a better and more colorful writer than her husband, John. Abigail was also the more resilient and more emotionally balanced of the two, and she is called one of the most extraordinary women in American history. In a letter dated January 3rd, 1818, she asked Louisa Adams, "When all mankind be convinced that true religion is from the heart, between man and his creator, and not the imposition of man or creeds, will be the test." Do you have another woman for us?
I do. Judith Sargent Murray lived from 1751 to 1820, the wife of John Murray, one of the founders of American Universalism. She wrote one of the earliest published statements on women's rights, on the equity of the sexes. It was first published in 1790, and again in a feminist publication in 1973, showing how her impact spanned generations. Amazing how that work can span centuries.
Do you know about Margaret Fuller?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a Unitarian, and she was an author, a critic, an educator, a teacher, a feminist, and a revolutionary. She played a key role in the Transcendentalist movement. Many of her writings have been published by UU publishers in Skinner Books and Beacon Press. She served as a war correspondent and wrote about poor conditions in prisons and mental hospitals for the New York Tribune. She is best known for writing the first American manifesto for women's equality, Women of the 19th Century, and it was published in 1845.
Wow. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, born September 24th, 1825, was an American abolitionist, suffragist, poet, temperance activist, teacher, public speaker, and writer. Beginning in 1845, she was one of the first African American women to be published in the United States. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper is considered the mother of African American journalism, as well as the most famous 19th century poet and novelist. She was strong with her affiliations with the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and later in life affiliated with the Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. Because of their support in the anti-slavery movement, she felt that she could help in that place. So she began speaking across the country. In 1854, despite being treated very badly, discriminated against, she was still a leader in the movement.
Olympia Brown was also a suffragist. A lot of these women started out fighting for women's rights. After graduating from Mount Holyoke College and Antioch College, she decided that she was called to the ministry, and she went to St. Lawrence School of Theology. When she graduated from seminary, she was still discriminated against as a woman. She couldn't find a church to hire her. She did kind of a rotating preaching thing. She'd go to Vermont and upper state New York. And then finally, she went to the Universalist Council, which was in Malone, New York, and she told them about her plight. One of the people on the council had heard her preach the week before and told the council that she needed to be ordained as a minister. So they ordained her there at the council in Malone, and she became the first woman to be ordained in any denomination, and the Universalists can claim her. Sometimes the UCC want to claim her because she worked in one of their churches, but we actually ordained her.
Hey, come on, come out, wherever you are. We need to have this meeting. We need to have this meeting at this tree. This tree ain't even been planted. Come out, wherever you are. We need to have this meeting at this tree. Ain't even been planted. Ain't even been planted. Yet Earth, I thank you for the pleasure of your language. You've had a hard time bringing it to me from the ground to grunt through the noun to all the ways feeling, seeing, smelling, touching, awareness. I am here.
So you've heard a few stories so far of inspiring women from the 1800s. In a moment during our next hymn, our offering, you have an opportunity to come forward and light a candle for all of those women that maybe you've heard that are inspiring, or one in your own life that was inspiring to you. There'll be a second opportunity, and at that time, if you're not able to come forward, I'll gladly light one on your behalf. So at this time, whenever you feel so moved, you can come forward and light a candle during the singing. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join in singing hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dreams and in my dark, always an elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I keep on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
It is our tradition to practice collecting an offering each Sunday for this self-sustaining and self-governing congregation. All of your offerings of time and treasure and talent are what sustain this community of a liberal faith, and all of your gifts are very, very much appreciated. Our offering today will now be given and received to support the mission of this church, transforming our own lives and the world around us.
If ever a garden of Gethsemane with old tombs set high against the crumbled olive tree, and like this my garden has been to me, for such as I none other is so sweet, lacking all tombs, here stands my grief, and certainly this ancient tree pieces here and every season a quiet beauty, the sky falling about me, evenly to the compass. What is sorrow of tenderness now in this earth close frame of land and sky, falling constantly into horizons of east and west, north and south. What is pain but happiness here amid these green and wordless patterns, indefinite texture of blade and leaf? Beauty of an old tree, beauty of an old tree, the last comfort of Gethsemane.
So, Another powerful woman. Thank you. So we're now in the 1900s, and I'd love to tell you about Martha Sharp. She was a Unitarian and wife to Reverend Waitstill Sharp. She served as the second minister in the congregation, and when asked to go to Europe just before World War II to help people escape Nazi Germany, they went. They left their 2 children in the care of congregants.
Can you imagine?
No. Wow. They helped hundreds escape over the course of 2 years. She would bravely escort men across the embassy line, waving her passport, yelling, "Americans!" She and her husband were some of the founders of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. If you haven't seen the documentary on PBS entitled Defying the Nazis, The Sharps War, narrated by Tom Hanks, you should check it out.
Didn't she get men across by pretending they were her husband? Was that her?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. How many of you listen to NPR? National Public Radio. And you might remember a correspondent named Margot Adler. Yeah, see heads nodding. Margot Suzanne Adler was a very famous voice on NPR. She was a correspondent there for over 35 years, and she became the bureau chief of the New York office and could be heard frequently on nationally syndicated All Things Considered and Morning Edition. And I knew her as a Unitarian Universalist, a correspondent, but most important to me was that she was a priestess of the feminine divine and wrote the book Drawing Down the Moon, which is like a Bible to pagans. She was a witch. And I found this quote from Drawing Down the Moon, which I think is very applicable for us today. Strive to be comfortable in chaos and complexity. Be always a shaman who walks in many worlds.
So, Reverend Elaine, I must share with you about a fellow religious educator. Without Sophia Lyon-Fahs, Unitarian Universalist religious education would not be what it is today. Fahs revolutionized the way traditional religious education was taught, taking complex theological concepts and history, making it more accessible and exciting for a younger audience through storytelling, painting, and other forms of creativity and self-expression. She wrote over 40 books, served as an editor of the children's material for the American Unitarian Association. She lived to be 102, and she never ceased in her quest for knowledge and innovation.
Several of her books are on the Unitarian Universalist ministers' reading list. We have to read Sophia Fahs to become a minister.
And we have a signed copy of one downstairs, by the way. Speaking of educators, I think you have one to share with us, too.
I do. Emily Green Balch. She was a professor at Wellesley College. She was, of course, a Unitarian. Then she became a Quaker. She was an economist, a sociologist, and a pacifist who worked for peace, equity, and justice in the world. During World War I, Emily went off to Europe to promote peace, and without the permission of the U.S. government, she and a fellow pacifist whose name was Jane Addams visited 14 countries. They interviewed 22 prime ministers, 2 presidents, 1 king, and 1 pope. They talked to them about peace, about how to end the war, and they said, someone must do something, and this time the someone's is us. Because of her devotion to peace, Emily Green Balch won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1946 and a citation from the American Universalist Society in 1955. I bet you never heard of her.
So finally, I wanted to know more about our beloved Wigan House. Next door, it currently holds our church offices and the All Souls School. Yeah, I love this story too. I imagine nobody is surprised to learn at this point in our service that although it is named for Mr. Albert Wigan, a longtime member of All Souls, it was his wife, Mrs. Jessie Wigan, who donated the initial $300,000 to build it in 1951 after he passed away. Jessie Wigan was also a sculptor, and we're so grateful for her initial gift.
Another woman to be put on a plaque in the sanctuary. Maybe after the construction of the Wigan's roof is completed?
Maybe, maybe. So we've been so inspired by the women in our lives. Many of you came forward before. If you haven't yet had an opportunity to come forward during this next hymn, you'll have a chance. During this time, I will light for those of you that are joining us through live stream and recordings later. If you would like to light a candle here in the sanctuary and would not like to come forward, if you just raise your hand, I will light one on your behalf. Please rise in body or spirit in singing our closing hymn, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me.
The herstory for you and invite you to take the month of March, the rest that's left in it, and think about your own herstory and the herstory of the world. And following the service, come take a look at the photos that we have of the famous women we've mentioned. And remember the women of this country and the world who have changed the shape of it over the decades. And now, in our going out, may love bless us and keep us. May the light of love shine upon us and out from within us, and be gracious unto us, and grant us peace. For this is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen.